Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, this is me, Jonathan Alexander, and I'm here to host my show, Life After Happiness. Today, what we're going to do is a little bit of an experiment. I ran into this really nice lady named Kelly who is on with us today. Are you there, Kelly?
Yes, hello.
Yeah, good. Hi, Kelly did my chakras many years ago, and a bunch of really weird stuff started happening. She did my chakras along with another person who was there with me to do the chakras, and as she was doing my chakras, I think it was weird. I was going through a lot of financial problems, and, as they were doing my chakras, they told me that they got rid of, tons of negative energy, and the next day, something weird really happened. I'm out walking, and then all of a sudden this minivan pops up. It drives up to me. And the lady gets out of the minivan, and she goes, "You look like you could use some extra money here." And she handed me $3. Now, the reason I consider that significant is it's not exactly safe to go up to a complete stranger and hand her $3. So what I'd like to do is to do one, I'd like to do something on the air. Now, the lady that I'm bringing on who's going to be our chakra guinea pig, so to speak, is a friend of mine named DT, Linda Gross. Are you there, Linda?
Hi, Johnny. How are you?
Good.
Hi, good.
Yes,
How are you?
I wanted to give Linda a chance to kind of introduce herself before we got into the cleansing. So, Linda, other than the fact that you want to get an interview with Oprah Winfrey, what else is there what is your story here?
Oh,
We've been
just
friends
that
for a
little
long
thing,
time.
right?
Yeah.
Hi, Kelly. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Yeah.
Great. So a little bit about myself. I'm an author and a speaker and host. And I've written a couple of books. I specialize in dating and relationships, and my specialty is I'm a gender differences expert. I think for the last several decades, the media has sort of brainwashed the public to say that the sexes are the same, equality, just because you want to have equality in the workplace with regard to equal pay for equal work doesn't mean the sexes are equal in other ways. So they certainly are not. They might both start at point A, they might both want to get to point C, but how they navigate those waters is completely different. So I point out what the differences are, and it makes it really easy. It's almost like I'm giving you the secret key that unlocks the lock on how the opposite sex works and how they think, how they operate, how they feel. And when you understand where the other person is coming from, it's just that much more easy. It just made life so much easier. So that's what I write about. I have a book for men. I am the men's advocate, and the name of my book is Mastering Women, the Real Truth About Women That Will Change Your Life Forever. My guys tell me that this is an absolute Bible on dating. So almost every single situation that you can think of that you will, when you encounter women, it's written in that book. And primarily, most of the book talks about how to gain confidence and how to better the confidence that you already have. And a lot of these practices and tips have nothing to do with women. You have to build the confidence on your own before you show up for women. So the tips in the book address that. The tips are not obvious. I've done a lot of academic research in that area, but the tips are super easy. Once you know what those secrets are, they're super easy to implement. So I really want the guys to be successful with women. And some of my guys even tell me that they use some of these tips in the workplace as well. Maybe you have a female coworker or female boss that you're just having a little bit of friction with. You're not winning her over. Guess what? You can use the tips there as well. And then for the ladies, of course, they complained. They wanted their book too. And I wrote Hitched in 90 Days. And what that means is not necessarily that I'm advocating you to get married in 90 days. No, certainly not that. But what it does mean, what the title does suggest, is that I want to teach you how to be so irresistible and so adorable that the guy can't help but to propose to you within 90 days. And then you're in the driver's seat after that point. So again, the tips are not obvious, but they're super fun. They're super easy to do. And I know there's a lot of frustrated women out there, and maybe they've tried everything under the sun. I invite you to try my book because I know you will like it. Money back guarantee. The tips work. I get dozens and dozens of letters on success stories. Heck, I even had a married lady buy that book. She's like, what do I need to buy your book for? And I'm like, just try a couple of the tips. And she certainly did, and she tried only 2 chapters in the book, and she says, oh, my God, my husband is now obsessed with me, night and day difference, and another success story. So, yeah, check those books out on Amazon. You can Google DT Linda Gross, or you can go to Amazon, and they come either in the paperback version, which they will ship to you, or you can download in a few seconds right on your smartphone or device.
Now, do you have anything you'd like to add to that, Linda, or would you like to start with the chakras? Yeah,
one other thing would be I'm a radio show host right here on 1490 AM in Los Angeles. It's KMET 1490. For those of you who are not in the Los Angeles area, you can download my free mobile app. The same name as the show, the Men's Advocate Show with Linda Gross. It's absolutely free. It's available on all platforms, and you can listen to the show live, which is Wednesday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, or if you happen to miss the show, you can also listen to it on archive. And then for those of you who don't have the mobile app, I'm also on TuneIn and SoundCloud that you could listen to the archive shows.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Now, Kelly, we asked Linda to provide you with a picture that is under a year old that has just Linda in the picture. Do you have a picture like that?
I do, in fact. Yes, thank you.
Good.
That helps.
Okay, good. Okay, now, ideally, the person should be laying down somewhere, like on a bed or a couch, but does it matter if she's sitting in a chair?
It's easier if they're laying on their back, but I don't think it's absolutely necessary. I mean, it helps when your body's not all squished up in a position.
Okay.
Can I lean over on my desk, or I can lean down, scoot down in my chair and kind of stretch my legs out?
Either one I think would be fine, just as long as you're kind of stretched out.
Yeah. Okay, I'm ready to go.
All right, excellent.
Okay.
I'm going to see if I can put you on speaker and have you hear me before I do anything.
Okay, good.
Okay, I've got you on speaker. Are you able to hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
We're ready.
Okay. What I do first, just for people that aren't familiar and obviously you can't see through the radio, is I'm going to be rubbing my hands together, and you can practice the same thing. If you vigorously rub your hands together and then you bring them out about shoulder width apart, you get them closer and closer and closer till they're about, I want to say about 6 inches apart. You can start to feel a little bit of resistance. Your hands might be tingling a little bit. What that is called is forming an energy ball. And anybody can do it. It's just you might not know what you're feeling for at first, but your hands will probably become a little bit warm, a little tingly. You'll start to feel, if you're going super slow, you'll start to feel when they come together that there's just a little bit of resistance. And that is how I start. And I take a little pendulum. You can take a paper clip on a piece of dental floss if you have it. Now, these are techniques that I found from my friend Tim, who I know that you know, Jonathan, but he's a licensed massage therapist, and he's been to the Center for Healing Arts in Kalamazoo, and that's where he got his degree and his license. And he knew he had a gift for being able to help people, but this was a way to fine-tune it, and I learned from him. So what I'm doing is I'm clearing any residual energies from my pendulum, which is, it can be a necklace or whatever, and I'm kind of throwing them into the ground because the ground can safely absorb it. And I'm focusing now on your root chakra, which is your first one. And it's the area basically where you're sitting, kind of between your tailbone and your organs down there. It's your most primal and important one. It's the center of your instinct, your survival, and your safety. And I'm going to focus on that. And if this pendulum moves in a circle, that's a good sign, because that shows that you have positive energy in there. Then however fast it goes or however broad the circle, that's the stronger it is. If it went side to side or front to back, then that's not a good sign. That could be you have a blockage or you have some negative energy trapped. So I'm going to go ahead and begin and focus on that and see where we are. Okay, this one is going side to side. So that's one that I need to work on. And if you were to be in the room with me right now, you would see me doing the rubbing on my hands together and coming together, making the energy ball. And when I focus on the particular chakra, I can start to feel sensations within myself. If it's blocked or has negative energy, then it tends to feel like there's a pulling or a tugging, or just sometimes it'll give me aches and pains in that area that I'm working in, or it'll feel like it's really congested, like a dark, thick, almost like a cloud type thing. But I'm going to start and see what we've got. Wow, okay, that's a bit strong. Just a whole bunch of emotions just kind of came up, and I don't know that it's really negativity I'm feeling. It's more like residual emotional things that maybe you've gone through in the past and they haven't all been worked out yet. I don't want to go into too much detail on the radio, but it just feels like there might be some things you still need to work through, but I'm going to continue to pull this out. And when I do this, I make sure that I'm what's called grounded, which is helping to protect myself from the energy, and I throw it into the ground where it can be safely absorbed, because if you're doing something like this, you don't want to take on the other person's energies, because that can cause issues with yourself. And that took me a while to recognize how to do that safely like that. Whew. Okay, I felt a release. Okay? Yeah, thank you. Sometimes that was pretty strong. Sometimes it, can cause me to feel like I'm going to throw up or something, but I didn't have that. It was just I was making fists and feeling like I was doing like a tug of war with something that didn't really want to leave. I'm going to check it again and see where we are. Okay. It's going in a circle now, so we're doing a lot better. Okay, good. All right. Sometimes it takes a few tries, but I think we got it. The next one is the sacral chakra. It's the second one, and it's below your belly button but above like the pelvic bone. And it's where your emotional body is, and it's where sensations and sensuality and creativity come into play. So I'm going to check that. Okay, that one's doing really well. So the next one I'm going to check is the solar plexus, and that's between your belly button and your ribs where they start down at the sternum. I'm going to check that. That is your personal power, your self-esteem, your warrior energy, and your power of transformation center. Okay, that one's doing really well. That one is your strongest one so far. So the next one is your fourth chakra, and you have 7 of them, main ones. The fourth, the heart chakra, is where your opening of feelings, your compassion, your capacity to love, and if you're conflicted, things will be kind of messed up, but if you are able to be decisive about something and end up without conflict, then that's how you keep that healthy. I'm going to check that. Okay, that one's going front to back, so that one's showing me that needs a little bit of work. And I'm just thinking it's probably past pain a little bit unresolved, but I'm not wanting to go into that too much, with everybody listening, but I'm sure people can relate. I found this one to be one where it's like the center for relationship, and if you're feeling a loss, like somebody passed away or a relationship is ended, things like that, then it tends to have it trapped in this area, and that's where, people get the term heartache, things like that. Even things that we stuff down inside, we think we've resolved and dealt with, sometimes they come back up to the surface like they will and just kind of remind us they're still there. So I felt emotional pain, but again, I'm not going to go into like personal details because we're on the air. And you have a really beautiful heart, a lot of compassion for people. And I'm picking up on that, and that's really beautiful.
Are you hearing everything she's saying, Linda?
Yes, I am.
Okay. You haven't said much, so we wanted to make sure you're listening.
Yeah. That would be good.
I just didn't want to get out of the moment. I'm enjoying this. And
oh,
Kelly,
good.
if there are a couple of things that you want to say offline, maybe you might want to make a note of it and tell me after we're done.
Okay. Yeah, certainly. Yeah. Does it seem to be ringing true so far in as much details I can, feel comfortable giving but not reveal?
Yes, very much so. It's very much in alignment.
Oh, good. All right. I'm going to check and see how we did with the heart chakra, if it needs more work. Oh, good. This is doing much better. And it's making a nice sweeping fast circle. So that's definitely a good sign. So the next one I'm going to check is your throat chakra. That one's your fifth one. That's your ability to manifest and express your truth in the world. That's your communication center. If you are having trouble in this area, it would show as wanting to say something but being afraid to say it, or you're afraid to offend someone, or something to the effect of you feel like you're biting your tongue in that phrase. But let me check and see where you're at. Okay, you're not having an issue in this department, but I know for other people listening, they might be able to relate to being afraid to say what they're really thinking, or being afraid to speak up, or maybe they're having trouble at work and they don't know how to resolve it, so they just shut, down and kind of, stuff it in. Or maybe they're in a relationship and they're not sure how to approach the other person on the subject. That would be where this would come into play. This next one we're going to do is your sixth of the seventh, and it's the third eye. That's your center for your intuition and where you learn patterns. Whether it's, if you do A, you're going to get, and combine it with B, you're going to get C. It's basically learning things and how they work. And it has to do with your memory as well. So I'm going to check that. And that's doing very well. I'm going to check the last one. These are all 7 major ones. I don't have enough knowledge of the other ones to want to, do something with those, because everything stems from these 7 anyway. So this one is your crown chakra, and it gives you access to higher states of consciousness and opens to what is beyond our understanding. Like, it helps you open to the universe, open to God. If you're following a different path, it helps you to open up to the path that you find spiritually calling you. Where the root chakra, the bottom one, the first one, that is your way of being attached with the earth and earthly things. This is heavenly, ethereal, universal type truth. And if you're going to have, if somebody is in like a religious conflict or they're not sure where they fit, it might show up here. And this one needs some help. I'm going to work on that one. Rubbing my hands together, making the energy ball, and see what we get. What I'm getting is you might have had a loss, and it's making you question your faith. Like, how can this happen? If there's a higher power, why would they allow this kind of a thing? And what direction do I need to go? Those are things that I'm getting. right off the bat, but I'm going to keep working on it. There's kind of a little bit of a feeling of uneasiness and loss, like you're lost, like you're not sure quite how to frame something that may have happened, or dealing with a certain person. Just kind of questioning faith. And let me see if I got that one helped out. Okay, that one's doing a lot better. What I'm going to do next is go through them really quickly and just make sure that they're all checking out okay, because sometimes when we unblock something or we move energies, they'll go to a different chakra, and we're just going to make sure that we didn't do that. So I'm checking your root, and that one's doing really well. Now I'm going to check your sacral, and that one's doing really well. And I'm going to check your solar plexus, and that one's doing well. And your heart, that one's doing really well. And your throat. Yep, that one's doing well. And your third eye. That one's doing well. And your crown, the last one. And that one's doing well.
But
How
Kelly,
do you feel right
we have.
Yes?
So how do you feel? How do you feel, Linda? Do you feel okay?
Yeah, I do. I let's let Kelly finish her thought, please.
Okay. I
Oh,
apologize.
thanks. I'm feeling like you didn't really have negative energy, or you had a little bit, but I really experienced some really heavy stuff with people, and it was more like I feel like something happened, and you're kind of having to deal with some aftermath. Residual stuff. Like when we go through something, we all have things that we have to chip away at a little at a time to work through. And it's not like you just wake up one day and go, hey, I'm doing all better. You might feel like that, but usually there's a little bit under the surface that we may not be aware of that comes back. And, it's something that we all experience in our own ways. But I'm really feeling that things are opening up for you, and you're going to get through it. You're going to move through. You're not the kind of person to just sit back and let things happen without participating in your own life. So it's not anything that's insurmountable. And I'm feeling like now this helps set into motion positivity and helps you build your strength, because there's nothing that I can do or anybody else can do for somebody. You have to be open to it. You have to want it, seek it. All I can do is help you do the process, to help you start, and then the rest of it is you. You take over. Just like if you go to a chiropractor, they adjust your back. Well, if you go to the parking lot, you could throw your back out unless you're doing the exercise that helps keep your spine in place. So it's just a thing to help remove the roadblocks So if a person chooses to move forward, they can. But I'm not performing magic. I'm not doing any sort of mystical thing. It's not widely understood, so sometimes people think it's hocus pocus or, whatever, but it's really just it's something that we can all do. We just don't all realize it yet.
I was going to say, we have someone calling in.
So when you say you have the energy going in a circle, what sort of energy are you looking at? Are you talking about the paperclip, or what are you talking about?
What that is your energy gets channeled into the thing that I'm holding. And if it's negative, it's going to go like back and forth or up and down. If it's going in a circle, that's basically how our energy flows through our body, is in a circle when it's healthy and it's not blocked, and it can just flow freely. And if you go into like yoga breathing and things like that, or meditation, you learn how to breathe in a certain way. And that helps you to have things go in the circular flow.
So how do you sense that or feel it or see it? Is it from the paperclip and on a string?
Yeah, it's partly that helps confirm what I'm feeling, because it's more of like a visual. But when I feel positive energy, it's great. It's hard to describe, but some people might equate it with sitting in a church service where they feel really moved. And when it's negative energy, there can be it just feels thick, and it feels like your breath is like somebody's sitting on your chest or sitting on your head, and you just feel like you're being kind of crushed or like you're in invisible quicksand. And that's kind of how it feels. And sometimes I'll get visuals where I'll tell, like, Jonathan, or I'll tell somebody else, this feels really thick and black, or, it feels like tar, or it's really heavy. Because those are sensations that I'll feel and things that I'll kind of see in my mind's eye to kind of help me be able to express what it is that I'm sensing. And sometimes it'll be, it'll be something black and thick, and it'll be like pulling a chain from somebody until I can finally get it to let go.
So just a little feedback from my end. The first 6 chakras were dead on. The 7th chakra, the information you gave me with that one, I'm not sure where to place it or how it's relevant to what I'm experiencing.
Yeah. Well, that's fair enough. I mean, I'd rather have honest feedback than somebody say, yeah, this was great, and I understand everything, and,
I mean, it's not to say that it's not there. It's just I'm not connecting the dots.
Well, it wasn't a strong, negative thing or anything. It was just I was feeling a little bit like it was wavering a little bit, but it wasn't anything super bad.
I was just going to say something, Kelly. We have someone who is trying to call in and has some questions. Is that okay if we let the person call in? Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Kelly, I think you told me in text message your name was Elisa. Are you there, Elisa?
Yeah, my name is Alyssa.
Yeah. Usually when she does her chakras, what she does is she needs a picture of you that is under a year old, and that is just you in the picture. We won't be able to do your chakras on the show. However, I am more than happy to set up a separate special show for you. Okay?
Oh, yeah, that would be great. I know I really need it. I could feel that I need it, and I'm not. I don't know how to do it myself. So.
I understand.
I am absolutely happy to.
Are you on Facebook, Lisa?
No, I called through Blog Talk Radio. Oh, yeah,
Okay.
I do have a Facebook page, though.
Okay, what we'll do is I will make sure that I am friends with you as Kelly is.
Okay.
And we'll set up a chakra cleaning day for you, okay?
That would be awesome. I'd be so appreciative of that.
Okay, yeah, because I need as much exposure as I can. So
Okay.
I'll call you later on and I'll go over the details and we'll discuss it with Kelly. Do you have any questions for Kelly, by the way? Because after all, you're wanting to have this done yourself.
No, just really, I just want to just get my chakras clear. I know.
Yes,
I've read about it and tried doing it, but I can't.
I apologize for keeping you on hold for so long. I was like, I didn't think. The reason I didn't put you on is because I wanted to give Linda and Kelly their time to kind of pick up on things. And it's not me trying to be rude or anything. I probably should put.
Actually, I was listening to the show through my phone too, so that's fine.
Okay.
That's
I didn't want you thinking I was being rude. I think from now on, what I'm going to tell people is to tell people to text me if they want to. But we'll go over the details. I'll go over the details later, Alyssa. Okay.
Okay, great. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you for calling in. I'm excited to help you out. This is going to be great.
Yay, thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Okay.
So Kelly,
yeah,
I don't know if it was chakra number 4, but I'm in a new phase in my life. I'm in a new environment, and there are 2 individuals that are constantly, I feel like they're stabbing me in the back. Is there anything I can do to help this situation? I mean, like you say, my communication chakra is very strong, and I've tried numerous ways to get through to both of these individuals, and it's just day after day after day of constant thwarting, constant undermining.
Oh, that's not good. My suggestion, if you haven't tried it already, is to ask them if they're aware that they come off that way. Like, ask if they don't like you, or if there's something that that they'd like to say to you. The best way I can think to go about it is to say, I've heard these things. I don't know if they're true. I kind of doubt it, but maybe I got the wrong impression or somebody else did, to kind of make it not seem like you're pointing a finger and make it not seem like you're blaming, but you're not skirting around it either, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
So
neither one of them are talkers. They're both very shy and not open communicators at all. So that makes it even more difficult.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you can find a time where it doesn't seem like you're making a big deal, but maybe it's in passing, maybe you can find a way where it's one-on-one but doesn't seem to them like it was planned, like you didn't seek them out necessarily. Mm-hmm. If you could do that and just make it non-threatening, and maybe, sometimes when you start out with, boy, I've got a situation where, I've got a friend that has this going on, and then they might be like, oh, yeah, I thought that was going on too, and they're really talking about the situation with each other or you, and then you can kind of get them to see your side without making it seem like you're roping them in. Like, go to them like you're asking for help, like on a suggestion with somebody else you're working with.
Okay.
Because everybody likes to feel like you want their input, and maybe they would see you in a different light than they've been, and they'd realize, well, dang, she's not a bad person, and she values my opinion. I don't know if that helps or not.
Yeah, that angle might help. Ask for help. I think the main reason why they're being like this is they feel highly threatened.
Yeah, that's usually what happens. And then
I mean,
you let them know
both
you're a
of them
person too.
Yeah, both of them are supposed experts in their field, and I've come in with not anywhere near the experience they have, and I've left them in the dust. So they feel very threatened.
Yeah, they're like, who's this? And, they feel their nose is getting tweaked a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been in similar situations before. It was more interpersonally than, on the business end of it, but I can relate. And I think once they realize you're not trying to upstage them, and you're all trying to go for the same means, to help people, then it starts to click in their head like, oh, okay, she's on our team.
Mhm.
And then you're not seen as competition.
Right. Okay, I'll try it from that angle. So
all right,
the information that we've discussed today, is there a way that I could best put it to use, or just let things naturally be where they are, or should I be doing something?
I'm not saying anything specific, but what I like to do with people is when I've cleansed their chakras, I like to check back with them periodically, just to make sure that things are rolling in a positive direction and make sure that those chakras are open, because when they're open and they're filled with positivity, you start, it's like the secret book. You start to have good things happen and get attracted to you when you're open to it. When you're closed to it and you don't realize it, then you're wondering, why does it seem that I'm getting the poop end of the stick all the time and nothing's happening for me, or why are all these bad things happening? And so, positive will attract more positive. Kind of like, an object in motion stays in motion. But if it gets congested and all that, then it's going to slow down, get bogged down, and turn around in a bad direction. And that's what we all want to try to avoid.
Right.
But, yeah, I'd be interested in keeping in touch and seeing if that approach with these people works, and finding out if, how your chakras are. Because it's like a car. It needs a tune-up once in a while.
That sounds great to me, and I would really love to hear the additional comments that you might have had. So
excellent.
We can talk when the show's over.
Yeah,
it might help. It might help piece things
now, I have a
together for
question.
me.
I have a question. Now, do you see, this is sort of you understand that she's trying to get an interview with Oprah, right? You've heard me say that twice.
Yeah.
Kelly?
Yeah.
That's like her dream.
What I'm seeing with that is to keep doing things in the positive direction that you're going and helping people, because that is what she's doing. Is she's really into helping as many people as she can, but maybe try to keep going the way that you're going, but maybe change it up just a little bit. And I think you're starting to do that with your new place of work. And just keep networking with people. Network. And but sometimes we need that little change up, but keep, going in the direction. I know I've been stuck before, and I thought, well, this is never going to work. And then I try something just a little different, and I put a little bit more effort in that direction, and it's like, wow, okay, this is taking off. So I think, things take a little tweaking every now and then to kind of grab people's attention, but, you're obviously doing things right, or you wouldn't have successful books, you wouldn't have the successful show, you wouldn't have people calling in and asking you and writing you. So you're doing things right. I would just maybe add like
a
little avenue.
Sorry, don't try to. But I wanted to jump in with a funny thought. I told Kelly about the time that I told you about the reality show that you should audition for, and you got up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I told her that I kept thinking I kept imagining the Mission Impossible theme song in my background. It's like, okay, I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Okay.
Yeah, Mission Impossible theme, and yeah, but were you a Girl Scout by chance?
I was actually.
Really?
And later in life, for my daughter, I was a Girl Scout leader.
Oh, that's really cool. My mom was a leader too, and then I was a co-leader, so I got my 10-year pin. Yeah, always be prepared.
Yeah.
When you got up at 5 in the morning, you were prepared, by golly.
Yep.
Yeah, once a Girl Scout, always a Girl Scout.
There you go. Yeah, there was a contest that Oprah and her team were having a number of years ago, which Johnnie told me about, and they were interviewing for a reality show host. The person who ended up winning the contest did some sort of like travel log kind of show.
Yeah, the one who gets their own show.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But it was hundreds and hundreds of people auditioning, for this particular role, and it was quite fun. I thought I did really well. So, but I didn't make the final cut, but it was a good experience.
Yeah, things like that. Even if you don't win it, you can chalk it up to a good experience, and you learn from it.
Yeah.
Don't beat yourself up over I should have done this or maybe if I'd done that, but certainly, it's a great way to know what to expect next time.
Yeah, definitely. It's all good experience.
Yeah. You may not be exactly where you want to be yet, but you are definitely heading there.
Cool.
Yeah, that's always like a great feeling to know that you're doing something that matters.
Yeah. And what I really love is sometimes I'll go through an experience now, and the results of that experience won't manifest for maybe years later. And it's like, it's so cool that I had that experience in the past to add to what is happening right now.
Oh, exactly. Even if it was a really bad one to go through at the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes. It can really put things into perspective.
Mhm.
And the cool thing is that we learn that we have strengths we had no idea that we had. When something comes up later, we're like, well, this is sort of like that, and I made it through that, so I can make it through this next thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, without those, we'd be flat on the floor, not able to do anything.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had my moments where I thought, why? What can I do to make this better? Why is this happening? This is awful, and I pulled myself through it. And sometimes we have to lean on people to do so, but if we have the right people in our lives, we can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned a long time ago that people that are energy suckers and people that are downers and selfish people and toxic people, I don't want to be around that. I can help them as much as I can, but it's up to them to change their path, and if they don't, I don't want to go down their path with them and get sucked under.
Mhm.
That I think that's a good lesson for everybody, is everybody knows somebody that's a toxic person.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and toxic people can change. It just, they have to want to, and they have to find the tools for it. And the big thing is they have to realize it first, because, like narcissistic people think that it's everybody else's fault, so they're not looking inward. So, the world's made up of all different kinds of people, and that's what makes it interesting. Yeah. If we were all the same, it would be boring.
Yeah, it makes it really tough because what I'm working on right now, I feel that I am at the right place at the right time, and I love what I do. It's super challenging and mind expanding, and I'm meeting lots of great new people and opening tons of doors. So that aspect of it I love, but it's just these two guys with the knives are just, they're killing me here. It's really hard to put that, bracket it off and put it on the shelf and kind of disregard them and keep being me.
Yeah, but, part of it is, people always do what they do, and we can't really, influence it too much because they are who they are. But there's that other aspect of try to turn it around so they can see things from your perspective. But that's a little scary because then you feel like you're showing your tender underbelly at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes that'll allow somebody to see you as a human being and not a threat. And sometimes that can really end up having a partnership form that you couldn't see even having the possibility of before.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm not saying open yourself up and be bleeding on the floor figuratively, but just approach them like that they're really knowledgeable and maybe you could gain from their experience or, something to that point to where it's a little bit of flattery, but it's sincere that you're seeing each other on a different level as human beings.
Okay.
And I think that might work.
Joey,
I would like to know how it works.
What's that in the background?
It's not on my end.
Not on my end
Not on mine
either.
either.
That's weird.
Oh,
Joey's being a bad boy.
Weird. Yeah. Wow. The power of the internet. Yay.
I know.
Wow.
Wow.
Sometimes when I was at home and I would be on the phone and then the radio would come in and I would hear the radio. And
Oh, weird.
You ever had that experience?
I've had something similar where somebody's CB or something I would pick up and I'm like, they're like, breaker, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that wasn't me.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's unexpected. But, as long as we both hear it, or all three of us hear it, then we know that we're not hearing something weird.
Yeah.
We're not losing it, yeah.
I know.
So, Kelly, for our listeners out there, what sorts of benefits can you tell that the prospective customer, could take advantage of by clearing your chakras or being aware of their current chakra situation?
Well, a lot of times, I can look up online because I'll admit I am not an open encyclopedia for everything to do with chakras, but there are certain things like if somebody meditates that can help, if they do certain mantras, if they have gemstones around of a certain color that correlates with that chakra, what this can do is, like I mentioned before, I'm not fixing somebody, but I'm allowing for the negative energy and the blockages to be removed so that they can better have a chance on working on themselves to the point, they can keep the positive momentum going. But, to break that down, that's more like it opens you up to being able to have, like if your mind is open, your soul, your spirit, if everything's open to be able to welcome good things, then you're going to be able to see the signs of the good things because you're looking for them. You're going to be able to know with more clarity, this is where I need to go. You might not know why, but you're going to feel that that's going to be helpful. And then the reasons tend to come later. Like, oh, that person's connected with such and such, and we can mutually benefit each other, or I can learn from this person, or they seek you out and you don't know why, but it just clicks. Things like that, where if you're not open to it, you probably won't see the, what they say, little miracles in your life, or the positive things. Because when we get mired in depression, or we get mired in feeling bogged down, like we don't matter, or just any of these slew of negative things, then that's what we see. That's what we concentrate on. Even if we're thinking, I need to fix this, that's great to know it, but then that means you're focusing on the problem. You're not focusing on the solution. So if you're open to possibility, then you're open to the positive experiences that you can have, and you're not self-doubting as much. Hopefully you end up going down the path with yourself or a therapist or whoever that can help you distinguish, okay, this is a good thing, and I'm going to go this way, and I'm ready to do it. Because if you're not ready to do it, it's nice to try, and you're probably going to, like most people, you're probably going to hit your head against the wall a few times, like, oh, yep, I wasn't ready, that didn't work. But, once you feel that you are ready to jump, hit the gas and go, if you've got that positivity with you, there's not a whole lot anybody could do to stop you.
Right. Now, how did you get involved in chakras?
My friend Tim, I've known him for over 10 years, and he did a lot of work on me, and I was like, how do you know all this? And he said, I don't know, I just know. And then when he went to massage therapy school, they taught him like alternative therapies and crystals, and they taught him energy work. And because he didn't do medical massage, his is more therapeutic. And, he has different kinds of modalities, the Swedish massage, deep tissue, the hot stones, all different things. But he makes his own oils, and because they taught him how to do all this and what to use. And being that it's very heavily into the healing arts, what he does as a massage therapist is not heal somebody, but help their body be able to heal itself. And that's what I do with the energy work. I can't do anything for someone, but I can get them started so that they can take over and do it themselves.
And what's your best success story with a client that you've had?
I'd like to hear that myself.
It involves you, Jonathan.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he was telling us a little bit earlier about it, and the first time that Tim and I did this with Jonathan, Tim was literally on the floor, coughing his head off, and having what was like seizures. Yeah, it was like we had to make sure Tim was okay because
The Exorcist.
he was fine.
Like
but,
The Exorcist.
Yeah, it was just really like, it was kind of scary. If you look back at it, if we had a video, you'd either be scared or laughing your head off. But it was just, he really got quite the wallop from it. But, he wasn't as good at the time of shielding himself. And he liked taking on energy, whether it was negative or positive, which isn't healthy to do. You don't want to take on somebody's negative energy. But, like for me, I'm like, nope, I want to get rid of that. I want to, but he's a healthy person. It's just at that time, he wasn't as skilled about shielding and grounding himself because he enjoyed the energy. And I just, kind of pass it through and pass it along.
Now, we're about out of time, but it's really good having you on, Kelly, and I hope Elisa, if she's listening, that we can do a chakra day for her. I'm going to call her after the show is over and talk to her, okay?
Absolutely. I love being here. I love helping people.
All right. Thanks for you two being
Thank
on.
you.
Thank you, Kelly,
so much
for your time. I really appreciate it.